Hey Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another Designer Studio episode. Today we're taking a closer look at the BMP-2 designed by Mary Wilson. So Mary's joining me in studio to take a little closer look at this thing. Was this another one of those projects that like the timeline was just kind of like, hey, so can you build this on a Monday so it can be released on a Wednesday? I mean, do you remember how much time you had working with this thing?
Yeah, this one was pretty quick. It wasn't as quick as some of the other Ukrainian kits, but it definitely was a quick turnaround. And again, it was one of those that Dan came up and was like, you know, it's pretty similar to the BMP-1 that we did way back when. And then it was like, you know, it's really not that similar.
It's not, right.
It's got like the wheels are similar, like they're low, the entire thing's low. It's got that like tiny little round turret. So like
yeah,
there's
super low profile on that turret.
Yeah, but it's really its own thing.
So got the project started, realized there isn't really much to base off of, so you pretty much had to start this from the ground up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was going pretty well. And then I got like this back part is sloped or like angled this entire way. So I kind of was asking around, like I was asking Nate and Dan if they had any different opinions on it. We ended up with this sort of like double layer because it's a little bit slanted up as well, so we've got like cheese slopes here, and then because this has like the tiles that are like a half stud in, then it kind of carries that through. That one's kind of fun. Honestly, this whole build is like, it's pretty simple. And when we were printing the instructions, Drew was like, "Are we missing a few pages?" Because like it's very like easy and like kind of just like stacked up, kind of like more traditional Lego. There's like not a lot of like studs on side or anything until you get to like the turret and like the front angle pieces.
Sure.
So the whole thing like came together pretty quickly because of that. I was able to use like more simple techniques without getting too crazy and still getting the profiles that I wanted.
Yeah, well that's interesting to hear because it definitely doesn't have the appearance of just like, oh yeah, I could build that, that's easy. You know what I mean? Like, because it does have a lot of angles going on, and anytime you see something that's that low profile, you think, man, what did they do internally to capture that? So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, really a lot of plates stacked on top of each other to like maximize the space. So
yeah,
like
sure.
If you can get like just a plate difference and like move things a certain, I don't know. It worked out really well, which I was surprised.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't always go smoothly. But yeah, and this one also, like this front angle, like it is super, the entire thing is just so low, and then yeah, it really just comes to that point in the front. And I played around with this a lot because I wanted to make sure that there actually were like headlights on it, and then it has like this side, it's not quite a side skirt, but like along there, so it's like using the brackets to like get this angle to go up past it and everything. Just a lot. And then the camo, which is really fun. I'm glad, because the BMP-1 that Dan was telling me to like kind of look at was tan, so it was like, you know, nothing to go like camo wise. So
but you wanted this to look next to the BTR-4, I assume, right? Yeah,
the BTR, and then Nate's
Oh yeah, the T64.
64,
BV
so it was like all of them matched a little complete set. So cute. So that was very fun to do as well. There were a lot of really good pictures of this in this camo, so I was able to like copy it pretty exactly, especially these like back doors, which one of them contains like the fuel tank or something like.
Okay, fair enough. How much space are we working with back there? Because I know it's supposed to carry like up to 7 passengers or something like that with its 3 crewmen or whatever.
So I don't think minifigs can sit up in there, but you definitely can like.
Yeah, lay them down.
Lay them down.
Crawl them in.
And
they're chonky boys anyway, so that's.
They are. And then both of these open up, so you can have them standing in the back. Which, I mean, classic. Classic, just standing in the back. But we got those nice prints on the side there, or on the back doors, and then we also have this hatch opens up in the front, and then this turret. I spent maybe like a full day like just working on this because it's just so little, but there was so much going on, and I was really happy to be able to get like both of these hatches open. And it still like rotates and everything. So the minifig isn't actually like connected to any studs in there, but like, you know, they fit.
Yeah, right. They can have them stand up behind there. So when that turret is coming together, I mean, are you literally just laying bricks down like on your desk to try to capture the shape and then putting plates on the top to hope that that shape will stay together? I mean, because it is literally, you know, a stud and a half tall.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing there to get that?
Okay, so I want to like take it apart, but I don't want to, reveal it all. So okay, but it's really, this is like where like the snot bricks come into play. So I made use of those. They're newer. It's like 1 1/3 tall or something with like 2 studs on the side. So like I've got those, and then I have it like building from all sides. And there's also the brick that has 2 studs on adjacent sides. And so I've got like those, so I can build outwards and up. And it's really connected by like, it's like pretty sturdy once it's on there, but it's like, it doesn't have that many connection points because it is so small. And really, yeah, I was like laying it down on the blueprint and being like, does this fit?
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Is that quite there? Because I wanted to, since it is like round, it's a circle. And like, it's hard to get a circle in Lego, especially when you're like constrained to a certain size.
Right.
So basically I was like putting it there. I'm like, okay, is that close enough? And then where can I add the like connection points for like some of these like other features up here? Like, is there room to like add a stud there, or is there not room? So I ended up using like these curved tiles to kind of continue, because again, it's like a little bit slanted up. So I stepped it because there's definitely not room for like cheese slopes or anything.
Right.
It's not round, first of all, and second, because it's just so little.
It's too flat.
Yeah. So this one, it definitely like took me a little bit, but I was very happy when it was finished, because I was like, it actually accomplishes what I wanted to accomplish. Like, it checked all those boxes for me. But yeah, comparing to the blueprint, really. For the entire thing, it's just like making sure it's like low enough profile, like making sure it's the right length. And then I thought it was funny during I always talk to Slam after. I'm like, so what can we do for prints and whatever? So we decided on the wheels.
Yep, they look great.
Decided on some of these back. So this is so water can go through there.
Oh yeah, right, because it is amphibious.
Yep. So without this, like, it wouldn't actually be able to swim.
Interesting.
And then I was like, oh, and then we need like a Ukrainian flag on the side. And he's like, Mary, just
build it out of bricks.
I'm like, oh, what a dummy. Like, it's literally like 2 plates tall. It's perfect to be brick built. So I was like, oh,
split it right in half.
Pam.
That's excellent. Yeah, no kidding.
So, yeah.
Add a little bit of color in there.
Yes, of course. Which I really like, because then it's, I don't know. I like having it. I love our prints, but it's fun when it's just like, it's just like actually built out of Lego.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Anytime you can add that color in brick, I think is something that's impressive.
Yeah.
So very, very nice build and a very, very cool low profile. You are not wrong. All right, well, and this does come with a minifigure as well. And we've heard a lot about the Ukrainian lineup already, but there's some differences with this guy here. So let's bring in Landon and hear a little bit more about the BMP commander. Well, we'll find out. Landon will tell us.
Hey, what's up?
Talk.
Oh, talk. Okay, talk. We have Ukrainian BMP. What number is this? 1 through 10?
It's a BMP-2.
2.
We were speculating actually before you jumped in here what that figure actually was. We went from BMP commander to BMP driver man to
Overlord.
Oh, BMP Overlord.
Overlord. No,
I dig it.
I don't know if he's got an official designation. He might.
Would it be like the driver or commander though?
It could be. I mean, the gear is all like, it's just like all over the place.
Okay, cool.
They're just using whatever they got. A lot of it's locally produced. A lot of it's like civilian purchase. And then you get Russian stuff. You got NATO stuff. It's all just this crazy melting pot of equipment and gear right now. So it was really tough to actually pick like one individual like loadout for this guy. So I kind of went with stuff that I was seeing that was more common across the board.
Very cool. But you can use this then if you've got this set and you have it all closed up, like it's being driven from the inside.
Yeah,
you can use him with a rifle in his hand or something.
The guy on the inside, he might be wearing a jumpsuit. He might be wearing, like just a jacket. Who knows?
Really
it's
cool.
just a whole bunch of different gear that he could be wearing. So this guy would work standing alongside the tank, commanding on top of the tank, popping his head out. In real life, he might have a tanker helmet from this era. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But I tried to make it just a cool looking figure that would fit with this vehicle here.
Yeah, and the collection as well. Yeah. Very cool.
Starting off, usually we're printing our helmets like full UV printing, but occasionally you do see gear in the field that's pretty plain, pretty basic. Just they're handing stuff out that they've probably had in storage for years. So this is just a basic combat helmet. No printing on that, and I like offsetting that sometimes just to create a little bit of contrast with this, with more complex uniforms. So I thought it had a nice look to it, just from like a design aesthetic.
The glasses were a nice choice with that. That's one of the things you notice right away in that figure.
Yeah, yeah.
So the yellow and the plain helmet, they just kind of clash.
Yeah. it's fun kind of going through pictures and whether it's intentional or not, whether they're picking out yellow stuff, but you do find like, so yellow glasses that's supposedly improves like visibility in certain conditions. So you see that with tankers, we use that a good
Even
amount.
people at shooting ranges.
Yeah, shooting ranges. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
So he's got a balaclava on. A lot of times these guys are protecting their identity. And so yeah, you see that quite often. Simple helmet strap on there. Moving down, you have I believe it's a locally produced plate carrier, or something that has just been kind of purchased to go with that. And the gear he has is, I think it's a Makarov pistol.
Sure,
in a
okay.
pistol holster. That's like a Soviet era pistol. So you're seeing this Soviet gear mixed with their own stuff, mixed with NATO stuff. Pistol mags next to that. Then you see the Ukrainian flag, or just like some blue and yellow cloth integrated into that plate carrier, just as sort of an identifier. It's functioning sort of the same as you'd see on other figures, how they have
The armband.
the armband, yeah. So it's just an identifier. The camouflage, that is a locally produced version. It's a digital camouflage that made in that country. So that's unique. Seeing usually countries involved in smaller wars like this, they wouldn't necessarily have their own camouflage patterns. But it's pretty unique that Ukraine does have their own camouflage pattern. Which, I mean, it's kind of a signifier that if your country's got an industry enough to produce its own camouflage, I mean, that's not insignificant.
It's a point of pride for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
Ukrainian flags either side, arms, and then you have the Talon, I think is the brand name, boots.
Okay.
That's again another Ukrainian-made boot brand. So that's this is that guy. The walkie-talkie. That is literally just like an off-the-shelf walkie-talkie that he's got
Sure.
on.
Picked it up from wherever.
Yeah, they're using anything. They're not even
Radio Shack.
right. Even like you'd see Russians using more just like off-the-shelf purchases like that, which in military conflicts that's like pretty unsafe for radio traffic. So they're kind of just using both sides are sort of just using anything they have right now.
Yeah.
Which is
Tune
just
into this
crazy.
frequency and
It's
just.
It's just nuts. So that is a civilian purchase walkie-talkie right there. This guy would go great mixed in with any previous Ukrainian minifigures. I tried to make all this gear
Really nice lineup.
somewhat interchangeable. There is no one standard uniform for any of these guys. Really, especially this war, it's just everything. It's just throwing as much gear into the melting pot as possible. So from like a minifigure customization standpoint, it's pretty cool to have a lot of these different options at your disposal. Some similar gear across the board, or similar patterns, but really just it's kind of like mix and match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Neat to see how they look together, like how we present it, but then also having that option to be able to kind of do whatever you want with it. And I think it's cool
Right.
too when you think about, even go to like World War II or something like that. When you have a tanker and a Sherman, I mean, what are you going to use them for outside of a tanker? It's really neat to see for these kits and these vehicles being able to kind of take this person out of the BMP-2 and put them alongside
Sure.
the riflemen and whatnot. So that's a really cool thing to see. And that will do it for the Designers Studio for the BMP-2. Landon, thanks for joining me, my man,
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching.